The dinosaurs. Let's talk about the dinosaurs, right? The kingdom of the dinosaurs. Who once ruled the world? If you asked, a classroom full of children, who once ruled the world before mankind? We've been trained to say, the dinosaurs. It was the kingdom of the dinosaurs, But I want to break down the word dinosaur real quick. The word dino or dino means fearfully great, okay? It's been translated into words that don't have their original meaning anymore, like the word terrible. The word terrible means today like shame on you. That's shameful. That's terrible. That's wrong. That's not really what the word meant a long time ago. The word terrible meant so great in size that it struck fear into the hearts of the person, into the viewer, okay? Dino means fearfully great. That's what it means. And soar means, let me break down the word soar, okay? Comes from the root SR. There are no vowels in the oldest of ancient languages, okay? SR can be pronounced sir, sor, sar, shar. Sometimes the S was an SH sound. And it means prince or ruler, right? Somebody who rules over. So the word dinosaur means a being that is so big that it scares somebody, and it's in charge. Okay, this has nothing to do with reptilians or lizards or anything like that. We have changed the word. The word has evolved because we have given it new meaning, but that's not the original meaning. Okay, this was the kingdom of the terrible rulers, the rulers who were giants, the rulers who were so large, and they're represented by these lizard types of beings because that's what we do. When we encounter something that is unfamiliar, we try to relate it to what is familiar, okay? We have made up this story of the dinosaurs. I know that's going to be very hard for some of you to believe, but I encourage you to look into it as I have. I'm only sharing my path with you. If you find something of interest, please research it and go check it out. All you have to do is type in dinosaur hoax or the battle of the dinosaur bones and stuff like that, and you'll find out a lot about the origin of dinosaurs, which didn't really exist in our vernacular until about 100 years ago. Okay, so anyhow, these are the dinosaurs. Dino means fearfully great, and great means large. Okay, great does not mean that's great, that's awesome. No, great means grand, large, gigantic, fearfully gigantic. Sar is directly related to the word sir. That's why we pay homage to others. They are our rulers. They are our elders. So we say sir when we're talking to an older man. I don't, typically. But that's what we've been programmed to do, to address someone by their sir or their surname. Same thing. From sir, we also have czar. Czar. The word czar. C-Z-A-R. Czar. Okay, same exact thing. It means ruler. A czar or a khazar, right? They started pronouncing the C a little bit differently. Instead of sir, it's now khazar and khazar, and that turned into Kaiser, Kaisar, Caesar, and so on and so forth. You get the point. For those of you who are interested in aliens, you're probably very familiar with the various races of aliens that come from all the other places and, in our huge galaxy and all the stuff that we're taught, right? One of those races is called the Saurians. They're always depicted as reptilian lizard-looking beings, which is very strange when you don't understand why. Right? They're called saurians, so you would think that the word saur is related to lizards, but it's not. It's related to the word ruler. And the rulers of old kind of had a lizardy look to them. They had a fishy look. They had a scaly, shiny sort of look to them. Does not mean that they were reptilians. It does not mean that they were lizard people. But it is interesting that when we depict the Saurian race, which is the ruling class or the ruling race, we depict them as being lizards, right? Another thing that's related to dinosaurs, the land before time. Remember how I was explaining that there is this time that existed, right? There was this time that existed here on our realm that we are not privy to. We don't have the information about the true history of our world, okay? We only go back to Samaria, ancient Babylon, Mesopotamia, the land before time, same thing, right? The land before our time actually started, before our written record started. That's the land before time. That's the land of the terrible rulers or the dinosaurs. We also have the leprechauns or the scaled priests. The priests of the scaled ones. That's what leprechaun breaks down into. I also explained that in my other video, The Secret of the Elves. We have Godzilla, right? This huge dinosaur-looking lizard thing. That's this giant, and it's called God and Zilla. I honestly can't remember what Zilla means right now, but they put the word God in it because it's just like the gods. It's this giant, terrible, reptilian, scaly-looking ruler who does whatever he wants to. We also have Cyberdyne. Remember I showed you that picture earlier of the triangle with the Y in the middle? That's the logo for Cyberdyne Systems in the movie Terminator. Cyber is related to technology, right? And then Dyne, or dino, which means fearfully great. A fearfully great technology, fearfully large technology. Cyberdyne Systems. But we have Gothic. The word goth is translated from the word God, which is actually translated from the word Gad, which means fortune. That's all it really means. And oftentimes when we're talking about the El or the gods, we're talking about, somebody, we see them in the light of however fortunate we are. Right? That's kind of how that works, right? That's where we get the word lucky from. Loki is the god of fortune or misfortune. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they support you, sometimes they don't. And so we've got good Lok or lucky and bad Loki as well. So anyhow, that's Gothic. Now, speaking of the El, one of the other types of beings, even though there are many classes of them that we have created, are the El-E. Remember the word Ali, how I said it means my God? Ali means my God. Ali-on means of my God, or those of the gods, the Ali-on, the alien, basically. This is exactly where the word alien comes from. It is the alien, or those of the gods, of my gods. We wonder why most alien life is portrayed as humanoid. I mean, I wonder that. I don't know how many people out there have ever wondered. When you see Star Trek, Star Wars, there's very rarely some very just truly alien-shaped, strange life form or being. There are exceptions, of course. But the reason that they're portrayed as humanoid is because they look just like us. They seem to have some sort of a relation to us. It's because we are made in their likeness. We have been made in their image. If we're talking about the gods of all of these various creator religions, then that's what they all agree on. That's what they all say, that we are made in their image. So whenever we portray them, it's not that they look like us, but it's that we look similar to them. They are not humanoid. We are God-like. We are like the El. Remember how I was teaching earlier that we change words over time, that we have taken words and we manipulate them and we change them so that we don't remember what they originally were. Well, Pleiadian is one of those words from the Pleiades, right? The only problem with that is there is no such word as Pleiades. It's the word Plagia and Aryan. The Pleiadian, the Pleiadian. Okay, and I break that down in my other video so you can see how how a spelling discrepancy actually gave rise to the word Pleiadians, but they are more accurately known as Pleiadians. The word Pleij means ocean or great body of water or sea. They are the Erion, those of the air, the gods, the immortals who come down from the heavens to earth, the Erion. Okay, and they are from the waters, essentially. Now I'm gonna let that one just kind of sink in for a bit. If they come from above, how do they come from the waters, right? For more information on that, if you'd like a clue, please check out my video I think it's called The Waters Above. It's got a picture of like a mirror and somebody's kind of reaching up and touching the mirror. They are the foreigners. They are the ones that we haven't seen in quite some time. See, that's the mistake that we typically make as a race of beings together, is we believe that we are the best and we believe that we were here first. And if anyone else arrives on the scene, they're the strangers, right? But in reality, it's backward. Big surprise, our whole world is backward. Everything is upside down and the reverse of anything that is considered the truth. Speaking of the various races, we've got the Pleiadians or the Pleiadians, which is what I just described to you. We've got the Saurians, which are the ruling class race, also sort of depicted as reptilian. The Nordics. The Nordics are depicted as these blonde hair, blue eyes, very strong. Thor, basically, is what comes to mind when you think of the Nordics. The Venusians, those from Venus. Well, they're not really from Venus. They are the beautiful ones. That's why they're called Venusians. It's the same word as Van or Vanir. So we've got the Venusians, the reptilians, and like I said, they're not really reptilians. Don't you think it would be an insult if somebody called you a primate? Because you know you're not a primate. You know that you're not a monkey. A monkey is something totally different than what a human is. How do you think these beings who were here before us, who we attribute so much of our world to, how do you think that they would take it if we called them lizard beings? And last but not least, Alpha Draconians. Well, Alpha, like I said in the beginning, is related to the word Aleph, or olive, or first. And then Draconian. Draconian comes from the root word drak, or drake. The Drakon are those of the drakes. The Drakon, the dragon. They are the dragon race. Or Drago. Remember when Rocky fights Ivan Drago in Rocky 4? And the dragon in the movie is like 1.5 feet taller than Rocky, which symbolizes him being the giant. He is the dinosaur race.